If you clicked on this video, you're probably trying to apply for university in the Netherlands, and this is something new for you and you don't know what you're doing, and that's perfectly fine. Hi, my name is Deborah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a student, singer, and songwriter. I make my own music. Yes, it's true. There will be something coming up in the next few weeks. Haha. How are you guys? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing, sweetie. So as you can see by this title, I will be talking about a lot today. In my last video, I gave you guys a vlog about moving to Maastricht and how I'm attending the European Law School. After that video, you guys had a lot of questions, and I got around 5 Instagram DMs immediately asking about the administration process, the application process, and just what it took to get me into the European Law School and in Maastricht University itself. Initially, I answered them, but they keep on coming. And sometimes it gets really overwhelming having to re-informate everyone on a similar topic, but you don't want to copy and paste because that's just rude. So I thought I would make a video answering all of those questions. Before we get into it, I just wanted you first of all to have an open and safe space where we calm down, because if you're probably watching this video, you might be a little bit stressed, curious, and just on the verge for information. So what I want us to do is to calm down a little bit, take a breather, and I got us something. Chardonnay. I don't drink alcohol. This is actually alcohol-free Chardonnay. So I'm gonna open this up and then we're gonna discuss all of your questions. Tastes pretty good. I wanted to give a little bit of my backstory concerning the fact that I myself am not fully an international student any longer. I've been living in the Netherlands for more than 4 years this year. And so I finished my education here in the Netherlands. I achieved my HAVO diploma, my VWO certificates, and I've also been to a previous University of Applied Sciences before I applied to Maastricht University. So I've been doing law for a year already before I came into another law school. However, I understand also both sides of what it is to be a Dutch student and also somewhat international student, and I also have a lot of international student friends as well who have told me about the process, and I've also experienced a lot of it myself. So I thought that this video would be helpful for anyone who's going through a situation. Obviously, I do not know everything, and within the descriptions down below, I'm going to put a bunch of links that you guys will need and I will mention throughout this video so you can look into it yourself. I do recommend looking at them. I'm not affiliated with them in any sort of way. However, I would very much like to be. Future sponsorship, let me know. Most important people that will help you in your application to Maastricht University are the admissions office and the student services center. Those two I know are the people that I contacted while helping with my admissions. Within those sub offices that they have as well, they will direct you and lead you to the right places. So if you have any more questions, don't spend your time with me. Go to the admissions office if anything is not clear. I would also like to preface by saying, by making this video, each course that everyone has come to me about has been completely different, and I can only speak from my perspective and what I've personally experienced trying to get into the European Law School. Every experience is different somehow, some way, so I just wanted to clarify on that. The first question that I always get is, what did I do for my application / the requirements for my application, what was needed thereof. So getting in depends on your specific course. Each course requires a diploma certification that is equal to that of the level of VWO in Dutch, WVO in English. WVO or VWO is a type of secondary school that you receive here in the Netherlands that allows you to go to a research university, which is like Maastricht, for example. The way for you to know whether your certification is equal to a WO certification level is to use the website called NUMFIC. Now, of course, Maastricht does allow in their admission requirements the most popular countries. It shows the equivalation of what they specifically want from you. However, I understand that from different countries, this can be a little bit different. So if your country's name is not on their list, look on NUMFIC. NUMFIC is a website that allows you to see your country's certification level of that to the Netherlands. You can also get a personal evaluation of your own diploma or certification, but that does cost, I think, 90 euros. However, in some cases, the university does verify it itself through NUMFIC. So check in with that and ask the admissions office concerning whether they can help you with that or whether that will be automatically done for you. For me personally, I had a propedeutic diploma or a propedeuse. I don't know the direct word for it in English, but I do know that it is a type of diploma that you receive from the first year, whether you're in a University of Applied Sciences or actually in a research university like Maastricht University. For my personal story, I achieved a propedeutic diploma from a University of Applied Sciences last year, and in that I got 60 out of the 60 credits for the first year of that module/course, and that allowed me to be able to transfer here because I achieved all of my courses within the year. This is possible for everyone, not just only Dutch students. I've also know international students who also achieved the similar thing, and they were transferred into another university later on. So if your country's certification is not equal to what you want, you could apply for a University of Applied Sciences and then use that to transfer to another university later on. There will also be other documentation required, but again, this depends on your course. So for law, for example, a photo of yourself, your diploma requirement, also a matching procedure done, and other documentation needed, and that was majority of the time it. However, again, it depends from your country and what course you're applying to. Everything that I'm mentioning and I will mention throughout this video is also done via StudyLink. That is a website portal in which you can use to apply to different universities here in the Netherlands. So when you are from another country and you're applying through something through StudyLink, it normally asks you for a DG ID. That is something you retain as you come into the Netherlands. So if you don't have a DG ID, there is another avenue for you to use that. But basically, concerning admissions, requirements, tuition fees, everything is done through StudyLink as the main portal, as basically the middleman between you and the university. So you don't have to hand in things in person. Via StudyLink, your certifications and everything is somewhat uploaded and put in an automated system so that the university can receive it in due time. Again, if you have any questions on this, ask the admissions office and they will be able to guide you through StudyLink, because it can be quite confusing for some people, especially the first time around. I didn't really understand it, but again, ask the admissions office for that. The other question I used to receive constantly was about my grades before getting into the university, and this is something that's a complex question because the Dutch school system does not use the grading school system that everyone's used to, and they grade their things out of 10 rather than out of the percentage or out of lettering. So for example, a 7 out of 10 is what you would equate to, I guess, a B plus range. So the certification and the grading system is quite different. Because I got a propedeutic diploma, I got my 60 out of 60 credits, and because I wasn't using secondary education any longer, the credits become more important as you start dealing with university level things. So rather, it's not necessarily whether you graduated with an 8 or a 9. The point is, did you fully comply and obtain those 60 points? If you obtain those 60 points, then you have received the diploma. If you receive that with a grade of an 8 or a 9, that just means you graduated cum laude, and that's great. But when it concerns the application process, because Maastricht does not have a selectious procedure when it comes to European law, if you are receiving a secondary education and it's outside of the country, it will be a different story. I know that when it comes to the admissions, if you check the PDF on the European law website, for each country that is popular or well known, they do have specific requirements that you must achieve for your grades. So this did not really that harshly apply to me, but it could apply to someone else, which is why it's difficult for me to explain when people message me and they're like, your grades, and I'm like, that's a long story. Please make sure to check out what your grade specific requirements are. I know for the US, your SAT scores are of importance. For the UK, I know that your GCSEs and your A levels are of importance. So do look as to see what that is specifically needed. I get a lot of questions concerning the matching procedure because it's very vague. The matching procedure for me was only a set of questions. And I say for me because things can change within each academic year. But the matching procedure was a set of questions that took me about 30 minutes to 1 hour to complete. And they were not predetermined law questions. So before you start freaking out, don't freak out. It's not something that you have to study for beforehand. It's not something that you have to know beforehand. I think it's really hard to fail the matching procedure. It's basically a bunch of questions about working in a global environment and what it's like to be studying in a course that contains a lot of different nationalities from a lot of different countries. Just a fully very, very integrated classroom. And what you expect from law, what is going to come for you in the future, what do you want to do with law school, how do you envision your time in law school, those kind of questions. It's really, I mean, for what I experience, it's kind of hard to feel that unless you're seriously disinterested in law for the wrong reasons. You do get an answer within 6 weeks and you get a study advice or an advice from the faculty. And this is not a do or die, because as long as you don't get a negative advice, you can get a mixed advice, you can have a positive advice. However, that doesn't stop you from completing the course. Like, it's just to let you know, hey, we think that you might or might not be good for this course. That's just to let you know. However, you can still continue taking the course afterwards, at least for a mixed and positive advice. For negative advice, I'm not too sure. The next one we're going to talk about is housing. Housing, this one's really going to suck. This was actually like one of the most difficult parts concerning my application, was finding a place to stay. If you guys don't know, the Netherlands already has a little bit of a housing shortage, and Maastricht is a very overpopulated student city. Now, what happens when you put like 20,000 students in a relatively small city? Students without homes. That actually happened. Please start applying for student housing immediately. Like, immediately. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I wish I could have followed this advice because I was late to the party and it was not cute. It was not cute. I had to live in a hotel for a little bit. No, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. No. Some of the best times to apply for housing, I think, are late December or like December to April, because those are the times that students have relatively calmed down. People are gone away for the holidays, and it's just the upcoming start of a new year, but people are still busy. Like, it's the right time where not everyone's looking, so start looking around that time. You also have to watch out for scams. What I advise for doing here is to go, first of all, onto many Facebook groups for Maastricht students and Maastricht housing, so that you have a group of people that you can ask questions to constant. I use a specific series of websites that were safe and reliable. There's many different housing websites in the Netherlands. The key is to know which ones are not scams, because if you sign up for a housing corporation or a housing website and you pay an application fee, and then you get an offer or a housing comes up and you click on that housing, and then it takes you to another site where you have to pay another fee that is not even a housing, that is not even like a makelaar or something, you're gonna get scammed. I'm not kidding. If the housing website that you paid for brings you only to other places that ask you for another application fee, and then you can only talk to them, it's mostly a scam. I'm not kidding. There are some sites out there, what they'll do is that they'll reel you in with cheap prices, and then they'll say all you have to do is pay for 15 euros to be able to talk to whoever owns the place or whatever makelaar owns the place. And then you click on it, and then you finally pay, you click on the place, and then it takes you to another website that you have to sign up for that is not even the that is not even the owner of the place itself, but another middleman. That is a scam. That is a lie. And people are out here lying to you, lying to your face. I'm so sorry to be so brutal, but it is what it is, and it is a scam. I'm so sorry. I used a specific series of 3 to 4 housing websites before I could find my own place. And even when I got on those housing corporation websites and I did pay for them, just because you see a place and you're the first one to answer does not automatically mean that you are the first one to get the place. Sometimes you need to have your toes dipped into different pools at different times because it's scary out here. If you sign up for a housing website, also remember that there's probably 700 students behind you who are also looking for a place. It's the wild, wild west. It's not even I'm not kidding. This was traumatic. I'll put the links of the housing websites that I used below so that you can also, because I regard those as safe and I never got scammed on one of those. However, even if you sign up for these housing websites, you got to make sure in the description that these people are plausible. And also check in the description if there's any extra costs, fees, administration costs. There's many different places that I applied to that had one specific price. And then when you go sign up for them and you get the information, they now add extra fees in between there. You have to make sure, and you have to keep on reading, and you have to be careful. It's a war zone out there. There's some companies who I wanted to find an apartment for a few people. I looked into the apartment and then only to see the contract and to read the bottom of the contract saying that I would be charged an extra 200 euros for something extra that wasn't even necessary. Do not get scammed. It's the streets. Also, even if you find a housing corporation, make sure to read the reviews of where you're signing up and to read and to understand what you're getting in for. A lot of places actually don't have great reviews. A lot of housing corporations don't. The one I'm living in doesn't actually have great reviews. It doesn't. It has, I don't even know what it was. Some places really have bad reviews, but that's also because the people who signed up for them had a bad experience with either a deposit or not knowing the rules and regulations or not knowing or reading the extra costs. You're probably going to have to pay more money than you asked for. And as an international student, you're probably going to have to pay extra in fees that you didn't plan for. So prepare yourself. Rather save an extra pot of money, and this will come up as a future topic, but save an extra pot of money for the extra things that you didn't plan for, like application fees, administration fees, signing up to places fees. Even for the place that I got, even though I signed up for their housing, I also had to pay money while sending my application before I could get the place. So prepare yourself. What I do recommend for housing for especially international students is to use a housing corporation, even though it's going to cost you a little bit more, simply because a lot of housing spaces also within these websites that I give you might ask for only Dutch students, which can kind of feel somewhat painful. As an international student, since you do not speak Dutch, it's going to be a little bit harder for you, which is why it's more preferable to go into housing corporations. Also, make sure to get in the group chats of your course and ask people what their experiences with something has particularly been. The more people you know, the more you ask, the better your experience will be. I know people who thought that they had great housing and only to come here and to find out it was a scam. Also, there's another trend of, because if you live abroad, some owners will tell you that they're giving you an online tour, and then you get here and you realize you were scammed the whole entire time. So make sure to search the individual names of the people who are offering these houses. That's also very much a possibility. If you see their profile and that they've not rented houses out before to other people within these websites I'm about to give you, if you see that whoever's offering this place has not rented out a house before and they're very, very new and there's nothing to find about them, search for more information. This is a lot of talking, and this video will then possibly be a part 1. If you guys have more questions, just comment them down below and I'll try and answer them. However, if they do get too overwhelming, I will make another video, a part 2 to this, and then I can discuss more of your questions in detail. But I hope this has helped just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, for joining me today. I hope you've had a relatively informational time. I have upcoming videos soon. I will be doing more vlogs and just more on a daily basis. So let me know what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to see. And yeah, until next time. Okay, bye.